There we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wow Wednesday. It's your midweek boost of inspiration, education, and motivation with Women's Prosperity Network. And this is Trish Carr, your host today. I'm so pleased that you could be with us for the next 60 minutes. The first 30 minutes, we're going to be talking to our guest, and then I'm going to invite you, please, to share your thoughts, ask whatever questions you might have, and share your wisdom. So today I am so lucky I have with me the fantastic Dotty Scott. Yes, yes, yes. And Dotty is a web expert, all things website. She is amazing. And Dottie is here to share with us what is the one way, the secret way that we can get customers calling us, finding us, instead of us having to do all the chasing and all the searching. So Dotty Scott, I'm so pleased to have you with me. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today.
Yes, and Dottie's quite dedicated. She's on the west coast of the United States in Washington State. So for her, it's not quite dawn yet.
It's very dark out.
It's very dark out. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning, because whenever I have a question about anything about Google or the internet or why something doesn't work or really all things internet practically, I ask Dottie. She's the one I go to. So Dottie, before we get into the secret to having them come to you, I know it all ties up with Google and
Oh,
being
yes.
able to be seen, right, on Google. So
Or any search engine.
okay. So what other search engines are there? Like Bing still around?
Bing is still around. Believe it or not, Yahoo is still around.
Oh,
I
wow. And
know.
is
Can't believe that one.
Foxfire still around?
Yeah, Firefox. There's all kinds of different ones. There's a Duck Duck something.
So
You know,
does
there's
anybody use any? It's funny because, I always think Google search, Google search, Google search.
they have about 90% of the market
So when you're
worldwide.
talking search engine optimization, which is the phrase you hear all the time, SEO, which means getting your listing moved up so that you're in the first or second page of your search engine. So when you do SEO, it works for all of the search engines.
Yes, it does.
So all the rules are all the same.
Well, fairly close enough.
Okay. But it's not static, right? Like how I had to get my search engine optimization up, does it change, or is that something that's pretty stagnant?
Oh no, it could change almost daily. Yeah, whenever they have an algorithm changes, it changes. So what I tell people is if you stick to the basics, you don't really have to worry so much about all the different changes that go on because the reality is when they change something major, they're trying to stop people from gaming the system. And it's always been that way. So if you're not trying to game the system, then you're kind of out of that loop of, oh my gosh, now I'm was on page one, now I'm on page five. You know, whatever I did isn't working anymore. So now you got to find something else. So I don't teach any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. But you do teach the best tactic to show up in Google search.
I do.
So tell us a little bit about that. And everybody, get your pens ready because you wouldn't want to take copious notes. Every time Dottie opens her mouth, I learn so much. So get ready. Here it comes. Let's talk about the best tactic, which I know that you have done yourself.
So I want to say that it isn't one best tactic. It's everything you do being tied together and being tied to your website. So I want you to picture your website as the middle of a hubcap. And all the little spokes, like on the bicycle wheels way back when, all those little spokes are things that you're doing outside of the website that are coming into the center, which is your website. So that could be things like all your social media profiles, all of your directory profiles, all of your videos that you put out there and embed on your website are linked to your website. Every little thing that you do. And Trish, I want to share two things. First of all, if there's some new tactic that comes along, I always test it. And I test it on my website. I should have a testing site, but I don't. So whenever my site tanks, I know, well, that didn't work. And I haven't done that in a long time, but in November, my website tanked. And I figured out what it was, and I'm correcting it, and it's in process of getting corrected right now. But this is important for everybody. If you change your business entity, so I went from an LLC to an S Corp last year. If you move and change your address, if you change your phone number for whatever reason, maybe you get married and you change your last name. Any of these things in your name, address, phone number type thing that changes, and it doesn't change everywhere, confuses Google. And so when I started to change my LLC to INC across the internet, Google got confused and decided it was going to move me off the first page. So even these little tiny things that we might think are, oh, it's no big deal. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I went to a company called Bright Local. They are a company that will change your information in the 4 major databases that all of the little directories pull from. And so I got my information changed there, and it's starting to get populated throughout the internet, and my site is starting to come up again. So these little tiny things make a huge difference, and the consistency that you have everywhere on the internet is a big deal. So, for example, my mailing address is Southeast. Some people spell it out, Southeast, some directories. Some put little se, some put big se, and it ends in avenue. And if it spells out avenue versus AVE, those things are all different. Any of that little kind of stuff that we look as insignificant can confuse a search engine. So it has to be the same everywhere.
So Bright Local is a company that checks everything for you?
And keeps it in sync.
Okay, great. Yeah, Keisha was asking. I saw on Facebook, Keisha, it's Bright Local, Bright Local.
Yep,
But
one
really,
word. It'll cost you about $200. It's the best $200 that I have spent in the last long time.
that's great. Yeah, because we don't want to confuse Google, and I'm saying Google in synonymous with search engines. So let me
Yes.
just say that, because I've just been educated that there's more than one search engine, even though for all of us, we think there's only Google, but there is Google, and then there are a few more that have this much of the market share. So Bright Local, thank you, Dottie, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate it. I'll do the same thing on Facebook. So,
You are welcome.
all right. So one of the things you want to do, so the spokes in the wheel and the middle is your website. One of the things you want to make sure is that everything is consistent on all the pages you have. And does that include like landing pages I created 6 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Now we're talking.
Does.
Right.
So, for example, Trish, I have put in a request to Susan to update the speaker page that you guys run, because I don't have access to update that. Bright Local doesn't have access to update that. So that's a manual update that needs to be done. And I know that whoever will get to it, it's no big deal. But those kinds of things, if you make a change, are important. So if I ever
So
get married, I'm not changing my name. Just saying.
believe me, I didn't change mine because the last time I changed mine and changing it back was such a drag. So I said the next time, which is going to be the last time, I'm not changing my name. All right, so what was I going to ask you? Oh my gosh, it just went out of my head.
I,
Um,
I
oh,
wanted to
oh,
bring
oh,
up a few other things while you figure out what that was.
yeah, I got
There's
it, but go
websites
ahead.
out there, like one that I've used for years is called about.me, I believe, or it's either aboutme.com or about.me.
I think it's about.me.
Yeah, and it's just a place where you can put up a thing about you or about your business. I actually have two. I have one for my name and one for my business. Actually, three. I have one for Ask Dotty as well. So those kind of pages, you also want to make sure if you've ever done them to go back, log in, and update. And I can tell you, um, last week I spent an entire day. It was Friday. I spent an entire day going back and finding all of those little things and updating it. And that's what really started my site moving up again.
Well, and what I thought about was that you said was that, okay, so you're going to be consistent across the board on all of your pages, but when someone else has something up about you, so for example, you are on our Spotlight on Leaders page on Women's Prosperity. Everybody who joins Yes Ready to get really good at interviews and podcasts, we have a page. And Dottie's on the page. And if I have Inc. instead of LLC, it's going to mess you up.
Correct. The other way around. You have LLC and it needs to be Inc. That's the
Right.
page I was talking about, the Spotlight on Leaders.
Wow. Wow. So did Bright Local figure that out?
No, I found it online. And I actually, on that one, I sent in a request to Susan to have it fixed.
Okay,
I
great.
know she won't do it, but she'll find whoever
Yeah.
did.
All right. So one of the spokes on the wheel is make sure everything else is consistent. What are some of the other things you can do to move yourself up?
Well, and it's always finding more spokes.
Right.
And that's a big thing. It's not like you're going to go out and get, 1,000 different places that you're seeing online overnight. You just add to it. And all the spokes on mine, I've been adding to for 18 years. And the things on the internet never go away unless the website goes away. So finding more spokes, having somebody, your VA or you, even just once a month, go out and add yourself to a few different places. Bright Local is a great place to start because the ones that they do have access to, you basically enter your information in once and they put it out everywhere. And I say everywhere. They don't have access to everything. It's like the little directories that you find out there and you think, what's that? Yellow pages. They have access to yellow pages. So those types of things. Start there and then start getting other places. Now, one tactic I use and have used for years is I will occasionally do a guest blog post for somebody else's website. That's another way to get a link from a different website to my website. Guest blogging is like guest podcasting. You're getting your information, your wisdom, your knowledge in front of an audience that doesn't normally see you or know you. So it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, the idea is to have links for other websites to have links to you, right?
Correct.
How about links to others? Does that do anything for you?
It does something for them, but not necessarily for you.
Okay.
So like back in the 90s or so, early 2000s, you used to have like a resource page on your website and
Yes.
everybody you networked with, you linked together and they all traded links. That doesn't work anymore. If you're going to do that, it needs to be a resource your customers actually want and will use. So like I might link to CoSchedule, for example, which is a tool I use, because it's something that would be beneficial for my customers to know about and to use. But just linking willy-nilly to whoever that you network with, don't do that anymore.
Got it. And so here's something that I've heard, and people tell me this all the time. They say, I put my name into Google, and what came up was my directory listing on Women's Prosperity Network, and I came up on the first page. So sometimes because of the SEO that we have done and all the spokes in our wheel, when you are on our website with your website, it brings you up in Google. It's amazing how that works. But
Yep.
that's it. The more you can be on other people's websites. So guest blogging is a great idea. And
Mhm.
it's a great thing to do among associates and friends. I used to do a guest blog and it moved us up on Google as well. So guest blogging and then blogging in and of itself. Dottie, can you talk a little bit? I know that you recently had an amazing success on
Oh,
a
I did.
blog. Yeah, tell us about what blogging, just blogging can do for you.
So I have been blogging since the beginning of my business. I've done it almost from day one. And I never take them down. Occasionally I go back and I'll update something. Something might be obsolete anymore, blog about something that isn't even around anymore, which is the case in what you're thinking of, Trish. I had a person Google some term about LinkedIn, and an old blog post of mine from 2014 came up, and he read that. And then that person, because he was on LinkedIn, went and looked at my LinkedIn profile and then went and joined my membership. And I'd never met him. So blogging from way back when, and I'll tell you, it was on a website system that used to take your LinkedIn profile and connect to LinkedIn and then pull it in and make like a one-page resume kind of thing for you online. And they don't even do that anymore. But because of that post and that search term that he put in, and would I have ever thought when I sat down and created my website, and any of you who have websites, your webmaster might say, give me a list of all the keywords that someone might find you under. You're going to come up with maybe 10, maybe 20, but you're never going to come up with something like how to convert my LinkedIn profile to a web page. Like, who's going to think about that? But because I did a blog post, because that tool used to exist, then, and someone, 20 years later typed it in and it came up. So the stuff that you don't know is what's going to really help you in the future if you want to look at it that way. And blogging is a great way because each post is on a different topic. So
Right.
every post naturally has its own set of keywords that are related to your business, but they may not be the main thing that you're trying to be ranked for. But all of these little, like long-term, long tail keyword phrases add up over time
So
when
what
you're
would give me an
blogging.
example of some keyword phrases for your business, for example?
So like one that I'm commonly trying to rank for is website designer, Vancouver, Washington, because that's where I live and that's what I do. So that would be like my main keyword and variations of that. However, I do blog posts about SEO, about social media. So someone could type in something like, is TikTok really worth my time? And if I've done a blog post on TikTok, which I haven't, but if I'd had, then that might come up for that person's search.
And April's asking a good question just to make sure we got it right, is that you want those keywords in the narrative, in the blog post,
Yeah.
not just in the title.
So a search engine goes through all of your text and decides what the keywords are based on what you wrote. Okay. And it decides how it's going to index that specific article so that in the future, when someone types that in, it'll come up. So the keywords naturally come out when you're talking about a specific topic. And those keywords may not be your main keywords that are really that your whole website's talking about. But Google and other search engines are smart enough to know that, social media and blogging and all of these things are like digital marketing, and that's related to website design. So they have made the relationship. It's your job to actually use the keywords.
Gotcha.
And no, there's no list of all the related keywords. You
No,
can't
but
find that online.
yeah, there are keyword search tools that can help you, but the most important thing is that you use them and you use them frequently and
Yes.
in abundance. That's the idea. So the other thing that we were talking about when we were talking about how to get people to come to you is in Ask Dotty, which is your membership. So Ask
Correct.
Dotty, oh my gosh, the best membership, and I know many of you are part of it. And it literally is, Dotty, I need help. And you also do training classes. How many times a month do you do the training classes?
So I do a master class once a month. It's the last Thursday, which happens to be this week. And then I do a what I call creative time, which is kind of like a free for all, come and ask your question kind of time,
Mm-hmm.
once a week on Wednesdays.
Oh, that's good. And then what kind of topics do you teach in the master class?
All over. I've had classes on blogging. I've had classes on SEO. I've this month I actually have my very first guest speaker. It's Sharon Nada, and she's going to be talking about how we can protect ourselves from the EMFs that come off of the monitors and the computers and everything that we're surrounded by all day long, or at least I am.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then did I remember you doing something around landing pages and
Landing
yeah.
pages. The topics have been all over. I think next month, I'm going to do one, and this is per request of my members, to do one on CoSchedule, which is a scheduling platform for social media. And we're going to mix that in with another tool that I use, Descript.
Yeah, social media and how do I schedule that and how do I make sure I'm doing it right? You do all of that. You know, we talk about websites, but she's all things internet. And one of the things that you spend time on and that you get a lot of questions on at Ask Dotty is about visuals and messaging.
And
So,
using Canva.
and so can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, Canva comes up almost every single week in one way or another. A lot of my members use Canva to create their graphics because it's so much easier than Photoshop, which is what I learned on, and still use occasionally. But I use Canva more than that now too because it's so much easier. So, a lot of times they'll be creating something in Canva and they'll bring it up and ask the group, what would you change? Move things around. We, as a group, give our opinions, and it just becomes a better piece so that they're ready to use that in their marketing. Sometimes it'll be something specific, like they'll bring up a picture of them and they'll say, I really want to just use my picture and not that busy background, and I want to put it over here. So I show them how to bring it into Canva and remove the background, and then you use just the headshot. So those types of things. I think last week or the week before, one of my members was watching one of my training videos and got stuck on a certain piece, and they were wanting to make like 20 graphics in 30 seconds. And I show people how to do that by using, a spreadsheet and pulling them up and doing a bulk create. Well, we walked through and figured out where she got stuck. And then by the end of her question, she had her 20 things ready to go,
Wow.
graphics ready to go. So I'm here to help people get past where they're stuck. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you right up front.
Yeah, right, exactly. If you don't, and that doesn't happen that often. I never hear, I don't know, even though you probably have to look things up just like the rest of us. So we're talking about visuals. how important are visuals in your social media posts, on your blog posts? Like, is that an important part of getting you seen?
Well, that is the post. For the most part, if you think about Facebook, most of us will upload a graphic of some sort. You can do just text posts, and that's fine, but the graphics is what gets people's attention and stops the scroll.
Okay,
Another
yeah.
big piece is the thumbnails for videos, if you're doing videos. To create a special thumbnail so that it catches people's attention when they're in YouTube and they're searching for whatever they're looking for, and your video comes up. It's usually one of 10 videos that come up on that page. So if yours stands out and the thumbnail is the only thing they're looking at, the thumbnail and the title, then you want them to click on your video. And the only way you're going to do that is to have some interesting thumbnails.
Yeah, really good, really important. And that's the other topic, Dottie, that you are so well versed in. We haven't even talked yet. I mean, this morning when we said what we wanted to talk about, we were like, this is a lot. But the video and what video does for your business, can you just for a second talk a little bit about YouTube and using video just a little bit before I open it up for questions and answers, which I do want to hear from all of you.
Sure. Everybody needs to have an introduction video on their website. This is 10 years ago now. I did threw a party, so to speak, for people that were my clients, and I hired a videographer, got them all in one place, and they all did testimonial videos for my business. And of course, I fed them in
Of
exchange.
course.
Had a good party. Well, at the end of that, the videographer was like, well, let's do an introduction video for your website. And I hadn't prepared. I hadn't thought about it. I wasn't even dressed appropriately because I wasn't planning on being on video that day. But I did it anyway. I hated the video. Absolutely hated it. It looked like I'd just come off the beach. It was a really hot day. I was wearing a sundress, there was like nothing that I would have done professionally speaking in that video. But I said, whatever, and I put it up. The very next day, I about fell out of my chair. I got a random call, a gift from Google, of a lady that needed a website. And when I asked her why she called me, she said, oh, I watched your video on your website and I just felt comfortable enough to call you. And I thought, oh my gosh. I hated that. I left it up for a good 5 to 8 years. I've recently replaced it. But get a video up, even if you hate it. It's not really important what you say. What's important is how you show up. You want to make sure that you're approachable, you're friendly, people feel comfortable to call you, especially if you're in some sort of a vertical that people are intimidated by. Web design, oh my gosh. Most people do not want to talk to a web designer because they're afraid that they're going to make them feel stupid.
Right.
And I can think of a lot of other, professions out there where people would really hesitate to pick up the phone and call. So doing a video that puts them at ease was the best thing that I ever did for my website.
Yes, yes, yes. And in Ask Dottie, you talk a lot about video because it's such an important part. And even you tell people how to do it if they don't want to be on camera and how you can get around it and still get the same SEO and all of that stuff. So let everybody know how to, so I know you're having a special on Ask Dottie right now.
Oh, I am.
Tell
It
us
is
all
the most
about it and I'll
fabulous
put it in the
special.
chat.
It is the most fabulous special. You can try it out for a month for $1. And I think Trish is putting the coupon code in the chat with the link.
Yep.
So if you've never tried it and you're just curious, do it for $1. The regular price is $39 a month. So after a month, it will go to $39, or you call me up and say, I want to cancel, and believe me, I won't hold it against you.
Yay.
It's you don't even have to call. You can shoot me an email, however you want to do it. But yeah, it's I know for a lot of people it's a timing thing, and so I don't hold it against anybody if they decide not to continue.
Hmm.
I'm here to help you when you're needing help.
Yeah, I love that it's not a contract. That's the best part.
Mhm.
So I would love to hear from some of you, whatever's on your mind. You can raise your hand. If you're on the telephone, you can hit *6 and I will see that you are open. And I have a couple, same thing if you're on Facebook, just put the information, the question in the chat and I'll bring it up. And April Heath, I was going to start with you because you had a great question in the chat. So, April, go ahead and open up. There you go. April was asking about hashtags and keywords. So, April, love those questions. Go for it.
Yes. So do keywords have to be hashtagged when you're writing your blog post or anything on your website? Does it help to put hashtags in whatever you in your content?
So on your website, it does absolutely nothing. So please don't do that. A hashtag is a specific phrase that some platforms like Instagram actually create pages for. So like if I put into Instagram in their search, hashtag website designer, for example, all of the posts within Instagram that have that hashtag would come up for me to look at. So it's a great search tool for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing. Social media platforms use them. It's also, when you're using them, it's a great way for you to be found by people that don't know you within that platform. Because if they're searching for a hashtag that you are using and your post comes up, they see it, they like whatever it is, they can interact with you, get to know you, that kind of a thing. So they're really platform specific,
Okay.
and they do nothing for your website.
So I have a friend on Twitter when I was involved in the writing community who put hashtag the witch on every single post so that she kind of dominated that hashtag. If I have a post on some social media platform with a hashtag, for example, stress free, does it help build a brand if I use that hashtag in my email marketing and on the website and everything that has to do with stress free? Does it help me? It doesn't help me at all. Okay.
No, well, it helps you within that social media platform when someone is searching for stress free, because it'll come up. The other thing that you can do with your hashtag, for example, in TikTok, every video I put up, I put hashtag Ask Dotty. And I do that for myself because I know no one else is going to be using that hashtag. It's very specific to my business. So that when I search for my hashtag, I can actually get stats on things to do with Ask Dotty and the posts that I've put up, like how many followers I have, how many, all of this other just statistical stuff. So I use that one specific hashtag only on TikTok for information for myself. And then the other hashtags I use in there are to get discovered by people who don't know me.
Okay.
Yeah. And April, you mentioned, you said, will this help in my branding if I put it in my email? So my opinion is if you use something over and over and over again, it helps you in your branding, period. In fact, hashtags, Patricia Rogers just said on Facebook, hashtags number one are interesting. Whenever I see hashtags, I go, oh, look at that hashtag. What's that about? Let me look it up, right? I do. And then they give you more reach and more impressions when you use them. So even if you're using it on your email, which does nothing for your ranking on a search engine, it
No.
does give you recognition, repeat recognition for branding. So yes.
Cool. I have one other question, and
Mhm.
it might be faster or quicker. The introductory video on your website, roughly how long should it be?
Under 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mine's like just over 2 minutes.
Yeah, shorter the better, because I don't know you. I don't want to spend a lot of time listening to
Yeah.
you.
And really, if you can get it under a minute, that's probably even better.
Yes, ideally. Yeah. Good questions, April. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you always for
Thank you. Thank you.
contributing. Always appreciate you. Wonderful. Raksha Joshi, you had a question that you said, that was my question. But it was a good question, so I wanted to expand on that. So Raksha, open up. Raksha.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome. So lately I've been focusing on my social media and I get told I should be posting every single day. I can't come up with stuff for every single day. How can I plan this? Because
Raksha, I
A,
want you to
I
take a
am
deep breath.
private,
Yeah.
and B, now I'm told get on stage.
So as far as social media, you need to use the tools. I mean, because we're all solopreneurs, we don't have a marketing department and an employee whose job it is to come up with all this stuff.
Right.
I'll be honest, I batch mine like once every couple of months. I come up with like 30 new ones. I put it into a tool through CoSchedule, and now there's probably 150 to 200 different posts in there because I've been doing this for a few years now. And that tool goes through and it posts every day for me. It pulls from the pile of things that I have created that are evergreen. So nothing date related whatsoever is in that like pool of posts that it can choose from. And it posts for me. So yes, I post every day. I create like once every few months. And that's how I personally do it. And now you might say, well, what if I've got something coming up and I really want to post, or if there's a special holiday or whatever? Sure, go ahead and create those one at a time. But for your bulk of your messaging, do them in evergreen posts and use a tool.
Okay, so what I've been told is you do a personal post so people get to know you, regardless of what your interests are, and that just share it with people. Then any like belief posts or things about what you consider is out there, but it's a myth, right? And then of course your programs and testimonies that you get from people.
That sounds like a good mix, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just pick a day for each one or mix them up.
Just mix them up. So for me, the posts that I put into that pool of posts, those are what I call evergreen posts. It's my messaging, it's my beliefs, it's my thoughts, that kind of a thing. The personal ones, I post sporadically whenever I have something I want. Like I might be out in the community, I'll take a picture of myself, I'll post that. Lately, I've been posting my grandson because he's just so darn cute.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
so cute.
Those kind of things. But those are they're not in my pool for them to choose from, because
Okay.
I just do that when I want. And that's enough personal posts for me, for my purposes. It's enough for people to get to know me. But really the get to know me, Raksha, are the videos. Because even though your message might not be personal in nature or get to know me in nature, a video shows your personality, your mannerisms, how friendly or not friendly you are, how techie or not techie you are. You know what I mean? It's like it shows whether somebody wants to really work with you or not based on the assumptions they're making of you when they're watching that video. That's the power of video.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Raksha. That was a great question.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
To piggyback, Christy is asking, what tool do you use for your batching in your posts?
So I create them in Canva and I do bulk create. So here's my whole process, although unless you know how to do it, you can't follow it.
Well,
I
join
create an
Ask
Excel
Dottie.
spreadsheet.
Well, if we join Ask Dottie, we can always call you.
That's true. But I create an Excel spreadsheet with what I want. So that'll be like 20 posts of what I want to say. I go to Canva and I create what it's going to look like. I use their bulk create tool, and within like an hour, I've got 20, 30, 40, however many posts I want using their tool. And then I just download them and put them into the program that I use.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Pastor Darlene, good morning.
Good morning. So good to be here, Trish and Dottie. This has been so great and informative. I'm going to take you back to hashtags again.
Okay.
Well, two questions. The first one, do you recommend that we do about 30 hashtags when we're in the social media veins as Facebook and Instagram?
That's way too many. Way too
Okay.
many. I know that Instagram has a cap at 30. I have been told by Instagram gurus, I went to the Social Media Marketing World 24 last week, or 2 weeks ago, and they say the magic number is 7.
Okay.
So this is a conference you went to in San Diego?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a once a year conference and it's all things social media. Yeah, so that's why I love Ask Dottie, because I can't go to San Diego. She knows all the answers. So yeah, that's way too many, Darlene. Try 7.
Okay. Thank you. And then my other question is on the other end of the spectrum. You were talking about blogs. How often, because I just created my new website. Yay!
Yay!
And right now there are 3 blog posts up there. Should I be doing a blog per week, every other week? What is, I don't want to say the magic number for that, but how often should I be blogging? And well, I'll let you go. I think you're going to answer that for me.
So this is a very good question. When I first started my business, I told you I started with blogging. That was really the only thing I did, and networking, in-person networking back then. And I had more time on my hands than I had business in the beginning. And so I would blog quite frequently, like several times a day, quite frequently. And then my phone would start ringing and I would get some business and I would stop blogging and I would focus my time on my clients. And then when the pipeline drained, as it in the beginning it inevitably did, then I would start blogging again because all of a sudden I had more time than I had customers. And post, phone's ringing again. So I can see a direct correlation between how frequently I blogged and my phone ringing. And it was this cycle like this, which as solopreneurs, I'm sure you've all experienced that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So what I tell people is if you have time, blog, because it does work. It will make your phone ring. The other thing is, or the other, I guess, reason for blogging is that we're training the search engines to come to our website. So you just posted your website. Congratulations. Whoever did it for you will submit a sitemap and the search engines are going to come and they're going to index everything that you have on your website. Then they're going to come in about a month and they're going to look for new information. If they don't see any new information, they don't need to come back very frequently. So now it might be 2 months. And they put you on a cycle based on how frequently they find new information, because that's all they're looking for is new information. Your other information's already indexed. They don't re-index you. That's a
Okay.
myth. If you hear the word reindex, it's BS. They're there to find what's new. So if you
Okay.
don't have anything new, they're going to extend the length of time before they come back to look for something new.
Yeah.
So the more often you blog, you're training the search engines to come back to your website and look for that new information, which is a good thing for search engine optimization.
Oh, great. Thank you. So I guess I know what I'll be doing. Thank you so much, Dottie.
You're welcome.
You are welcome. You're welcome. All right, I have somebody on the telephone from the 720 area code.
20. It's Miss Kathy Basel, and I just wanted to say that I am a raving fan of Ask Dottie.
Yay.
I just wanted to highlight a couple things that she said. Her blog from 10 years ago was found, and so this is somebody who's been in this game for a long time, and I don't know about you, but I don't like getting caught up in the latest trends. So Dottie really, she's on the forefront of all the new stuff and simplifies it, and she's like an anchor. She's so patient, and it's just beautiful to watch you work with people, Dottie.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. That was so sweet of you. Are you outside? Is it snowing today?
No, it was snowing yesterday, so sorry for crunching earlier.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was thinking you were walking in the
Commute,
snow.
isn't it star 7? Yeah, there is some snow. Is it star 7 to mute?
Star 6.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you,
Excellent.
Dottie. Join everybody.
Thank you, Kathy. That was really sweet. Thank you so much. She's so sweet. Let's go to Peg Duchesne. Good morning,
Hey.
Peg Duchesne.
Good morning, Trish. Good morning, Dottie. I'm a big fan of Ask Dottie as well. It's a wealth of information and a library of tools that when you have a question, the answer is always waiting for you. So thank you so much.
You're
One
welcome.
thing I'd love you to speak on, Dottie, if you don't mind. I love the wheel and the hub and the center being the website and everything else pointing out from that or pointing into the website from everything else you do. Can you talk briefly about social media and why it's important not just to post things, but to go back and see who engaged and engage with them? I have clients who think all they need to do is just post, and then they never go back and look and engage. And that's really where the magic is. I'd love to have your take on that, if you would, please.
Oh, certainly. So posting in social media does one thing. It gets you in front of people that you may or may not know. And if you're posting your blog posts, like linking to your blog posts, it gets you a link from whatever platform to your website. That's all it does. If you are engaging in social media, now you're building a relationship with people and a community of people. So that is what keeps you top of mind when somebody needs your services. There's a lot of times somebody will ask a client of mine, who do you know that does websites? And I'll see a whole thread of people mentioning me amongst other people and tagging me so that I can then go in and respond to them. And it's a conversation. And so if you're not engaging and paying attention to the comments, even if it's just hitting a reaction to a comment like a like or a love or something like that, it's better to actually type in something. You will start to build the relationships that way. If you're just posting, it's just a tool to get links to your website, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. It does help, but the engagement is where the magic happens.
Yeah, the nurturing is what's needed. It's like putting up a sign that says, I'm having a sale, and people knock on your door and you don't answer the door.
Yeah.
Right. That was good. Thank you
Great
so
question,
much, Peg.
Peg.
Thank you, Dottie. I love collaborating with you.
Yeah, great question, Peg. Thank you. Nellie Williams, I see your line is open. Do you have a question or you want to bring a comment, Nellie?
I'm just enjoying this conversation. Dottie is so full of great information, and I love being connected with WPN and Dottie and all of the people, Trish, Nancy. So
Thank you,
thank you very
Nellie.
much. Yeah,
Yay. Thanks for being here, Nellie, always. Appreciate you too, my friend.
thank you.
All right, let's go to Christy Swanger. Christy,
Good
what else
morning,
is on your mind?
and good morning to you both. And Dottie, thank you for getting up so early. I was thinking, wait, it's 9 o'clock Eastern time. What was it? 6 your time?
Yeah, I got up at 5:15 today.
Oh, you look great.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Golly, so much info. Question quickly, just a little, can you give some quick tips on monetizing the website and affiliate marketing? There's a lot of that out there. I know where to have our own products. You know, I'm just starting. I don't have my own products yet. I'm writing. Any tips, please, and thank you.
So affiliate marketing, it sounds like, is where your monetization is going to come from, since you don't have your own products. And I can honestly say I've not done over the years a whole lot of affiliate marketing. I do participate as an affiliate with different tools that I use, and I often write a blog post on a specific tool, and then I put my affiliate links in that blog post, as opposed to creating a page that has all of your products on it that you're an affiliate of, which is another option that you can do.
Mhm.
And if affiliate marketing is your main thing, that is what I would suggest that you do, is create a page that has all of your tools or whatever it is that you're promoting on that page, so that people can easily find the links and whatnot. And of course, you're going to write about whatever those are, information about what the tools are. And you also have to declare that you are an affiliate of whatever that company is, so that you're compliant with the rules of affiliate marketing online. Did that answer your question, Christy?
It did, and I know it serves us better to have our own products. So, and
Yes.
courses too, I know merit some good income. I don't want to be thinking income, but I want the website to have its to be, financially prosperous.
No, you want to be thinking income. That's one
Okay,
of the major reasons you're in business. Hello?
thank
Yeah,
you.
we are in business for profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Christy, not having your own products shouldn't stop you. There are products that your customers would want that you could sell.
Mm-hmm.
When Women's Prosperity Network first started 16 years ago, we didn't have anything. So we looked for partners who had what our audience wanted, and we sold their products. So what happened was they would give them to us at wholesale prices, and we would sell them at retail. Even down to books. You can buy books at wholesale prices and sell them. So we were selling things like the 4 Agreements, 7 Habits, the E-Myth, all those things. They're all there. You can still sell them. So don't get stuck that you have to have product.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you.
Oh, you're
Mhm.
so welcome. You're so welcome. And we talk about these kinds of things at our monthly, once a month, first Tuesday of the month, all paying members, gold, lifetime, platinum members, momentum members, everybody who's a paying member of Women's Prosperity, we get together and we ask questions just like that. How do I monetize this? What do I do to take care of that? How do I market this? It's so great. Join us there for sure. First
Well,
Tuesday of the month.
thank you both.
I want to comment about blogging and monetization as well, Trish. When you have your own products and you're blogging on your website, it's great to do blog posts that are related to whatever that it is that you sell, and then link to that sales page for that product within the post. And you want to choose one. So don't link to like 10 different things that you do in every post, but do a post for every single product that you sell, or several posts, link to it, and that will help you to sell that product. But it also helps with signals to Google saying, this is an important page. We've got a lot of links coming to it within the website. Those internal links really help with SEO as well.
Very good. Christy, thanks for the great questions. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you both.
You are so welcome. And Dotty Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing every tidbit. You should see my book. I have so many notes that I have taken this morning, and I don't even, there's so much. So really, the consistency on your website, really important. There's ways that you can get people to come to you. Blogging is one of them. Being consistent is another. So many great questions. Let me ask you one last thing that Benita asked on Facebook. She
Okay.
said, what about Google Knowledge Panel? Do you know what she's talking about?
Yes, that is directly from your Google business profile. And if you don't have one, you'll never have a Google Knowledge Panel. It's the big panel that when someone is searching, it sits off to the side and it takes up most of the page.
Yes.
And it has all the information about you. That panel, coincidentally, I'm actually doing a LinkedIn Live at about 9:30 my time, whatever time that is, wherever you're at today. And I'm going to be talking extensively about Google My Business or Google Business Profiles. So come on over to LinkedIn for that. But that panel gets you into maps. It has all of your information on it. A lot of people actually call me from that without ever visiting my website. You can get it that dialed in where you can add your products, your services, everything that you do within there. And it acts as a separate little mini website for you. And a lot of people, especially phone users, when they're searching on their phone, that's one of the first things that come up. So it's super important. And I wanted to mention one last thing, Trish, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
We all know that we all learn from somebody. Like, my knowledge doesn't just fall out of the sky and land in my curly hair. I have a mentor, and that mentor has agreed to do an SEO specific webinar for anybody associated with me. So all of you people, it's a special one. It's, I think, April 10th. I don't have the page ready yet. So we're, beginning thing. But the entrance fee to get in is a donation that helps a orphanage down in Costa Rica that rescues girls from the sex traffic arena.
Right.
And educates them, teaches them sometimes 2 or 3 different languages. And when they're 18, they have skills and they help them get a job and become productive members of society. So that's the donation to that gets you an entry into this one-time only webinar put on by myself and Marco. And so if you're interested in that, get a hold of me on any social media platform. Get a hold of me. I'm either Dotty Scott, Ask Dotty, or Premium Websites. And let me know and I'll send you the link when it's ready.
Oh, Dotty, that is so wonderful. Not only am I going to learn something, but I'm going to make a difference. And sex trafficking is such a huge problem. And I know so many of us are working toward making that a distant memory.
Yeah, that needs to just go away.
Yeah, it does. So thank you. So I'll tell Dotty, Dotty is your email address. Dotty at...
The easiest one is Dotty at AskDotty.com.
And get on the special webinar. You want them to send you an email?
Sure. Send me an email. I'll start creating a list and then I'll email you back when I have the link ready for you to donate.
Okay,
and
perfect.
We will. That webinar will be recorded if you can't come, but the only people that are going to get it are the people that donate. And it is, I'm telling you, he doesn't do this for anybody. I have been with him for years and learned from him. Most of the knowledge I have has come directly from this person.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing that, because our hearts, it's like the people behind the business. It means so much that you're doing something. Doesn't take a lot, but someone's doing something special and you're doing something special in return. So thank you. And thank you, all of you, for being here today. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. I know that you are going to go out and make it a fantastic day today. Dotty Scott, always, always appreciate your brilliance. Thank you so
And
much.
I'm happy to do it for you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank all of you for being here. Go out and make it a fantastic Wow Wednesday. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.